Hi, everyone. Jane Applegath here, founder of the Epic Vision Zone, where we say life is too short to be quiet. Each show, we offer you an inspiring person or message to bring you closer to living your epic life's story out loud. Thank you for being here. You can listen to the audio version on your favorite app or watch on YouTube, and be sure to subscribe so that you never miss an episode. Steve Jeffs wrote, "Innovation is the unrelenting drive to break the status quo and develop anew where few have dared to go." In a world where creativity knows no bounds, Yvette Mannion has emerged as a trailblazer with SF Candy and YMM Wellness, two ventures that blend the indulgence of confectionery buffet artistry while providing clients with the principles of balanced nutrition, digestive health, and integrative health coaching. With an entrepreneurial and innovative spirit dedicated to well-being, Yvette has carved a unique niche as a candy buffet designer and health coach. Holding certifications in both design and integrative health coaching, Yvette's candy buffets are visually stunning, bringing joy to special occasions that are experiential and unforgettable. This is where coaching comes in, Yvette says, because she also believes that indulging in life also creates balance and joy. But the huge success of SF Candy came with a cost. Stress eventually took its toll in the form of a mystery illness, which forced Yvette to take matters into her own hands to cure herself. This was the motivation for her second venture. As a certified integrative health and digestive coach, Yvette opened YMM Wellness to empower busy working moms to make informative choices, adopt healthier habits, and embrace a lifestyle that improves their digestive health. This dual identity as a confectionery artist and health coach reflects Yvette's belief that life's indulgences can coexist harmoniously with mindful well-being. Welcome, Yvette. So nice to have you here today.
Thank you. I'm so honored and happy to be chatting with you today, Jane.
Well, likewise. And I have to say, we were chatting just earlier a little bit, and I am so excited about Yvette's creativity, because that's my wheelhouse, and how you've melded the health with the indulgence. So thank you for being here, and we can't wait to get started. So give us an idea, what inspired you to do the work that you do?
Well, it's been a journey, and it's a journey that led me to where I am today. So if I was to fast forward, or excuse me, rewind to where it all started, um, in my former career, I was worked in the legal field for about a decade, and feeling confined to the rules and hours to a 9 to 5 job really wasn't a fit for me. So exploring um, some of the creative aspects of things that I loved, I knew that a career change was something that I desired. Um, a friend of mine, we decided a photo booth business back in 2010, and so that was my first business. That was also the door that opened for me to get into the events field. Perspective Photo Booth operated for about a decade. I actually closed it during the pandemic because it wasn't part of my passion. It wasn't part of something that I loved anymore. But going backwards, in 2012, I opened SF Candy Bar, and that's the business, one of the main businesses that's my bread and butter and that I'm super passionate about today. But how that started was my partner and I would often do showcasing events, marketing events to get our name out there. And we would always bring a bowl of candy to these events. And oddly enough, there would always be someone walking up to us, and we thought it was the customer, but no, they just wanted a piece of candy. And that started to get my wheels turning and researching and learning that at that time there wasn't a candy buffet company widely marketed in the San Francisco Bay Area. So that's when SF Candy Bar was born.
Mm.
It's been an amazing experience to go to the most epic events that I can ever imagine and be a part of. And that's where kind of a lot of stress came in because of all of the high volume that I was experiencing during the time that Silicon Valley was just booming and looking for talent, and having any sort of experience in their office was very popular for all these new businesses and events that would go on to appeal to the top talent. So bringing in a service like a candy buffet was just like an added layer to a benefit of these corporate tech companies. So during that time, that's when a lot of stress came on my body. And they say that stress can be like a silent killer. And that's when one of my first mystery illnesses came up. And so the journey with that was lots of doctor's visits, lots of information that, lots of tests that didn't give me any of the information that I needed to diagnose me. So that's when I took matters into my own hands and started seeing alternative health practitioners to help me find a solution for like a laundry list, a page and a half of symptoms that no doctor can identify as being any sort of conclusive ailment. So when I started seeing this amazing practitioner, her name's Amber Bodily, also was a teacher. And so she specialized in diet, herbology, and foot zoning. So that's where I learned how to care for my health on a whole different level with nutrition and herbs. And that's when I healed. That opened a lot of doors for me to understand like an entirely different world of healing. Um, Fast forward, that was in 2018 when all my dreams came true. I healed, huge dream of mine, just to feel better. Um, Got married. A year later, I got pregnant. Had my first son at 40, which I have to really lean to the fact that I did all this health improvement. It's not as easy to get pregnant as at the age of 39.
Yeah.
Forward, this is a little bit of a story, but it's a story that tells like the hardships that I've been on. Fast forward, pandemic, my business was silent because of all the businesses shuttered, no events. I was able to be a stay-at-home mom and enjoyed every minute of it. And I got my second mystery illness. And that is when I had to do a much deeper dive into how do I heal myself? Like the doctors, again, didn't have answers for me. And I've spent like tens of thousands of dollars trying to figure out what was wrong. I was just sick all the time. I was throwing up. I had all these digestive issues, stomach pains every time I ate. And that's when I was like, okay, so there's gotta be a way. I did it before, and I know and I believe in my body that I can do it again. So that's when I decided to take up health coaching, get certified as a digestive health coach. And I want to, from that pain that I endured for, it's been about 3 years where, I had these intense, like 10 out of 10, if I can, 15 out of 10 pain flare ups. I want to help other women not have to go through what I went through. And to kind of put a period at all this, I finally had to go to the ER over Christmas. It was 2 weeks before Christmas. And they learned that I've been passing gallstones for the past 3 years. So
Gosh.
no doctor was able to identify that it was my gallbladder. So I had my gallbladder removed um, on the 17th of December, and I feel so much better. So the moral of the story is as a digestive health coach, it's something that I learned. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not trained to be a medical doctor, but I'm trained to help you identify what the problems are and address them as best as you can. And address them like keep fighting. Some people don't have the will and they just deal with it. I've talked to so many women that they just deal with it, but then they don't try to create like come up with solutions. And it took me 3 years, but finally we figured it out with a combination of Western medicine and alternative approaches. So the two combined led me to where I am today. I feel so much more passionate about helping women with their wellness journey and with an emphasis in digestive health.
Mm. Wow, that is quite the journey. And through life experiences, absolutely. You know, it's interesting how you just kept pushing forward. And you're right. That is the key, is to keep asking questions, continue to learn. And I could see where your passion comes in for both companies. You know, the SF Candy, which it brings a lot of joy and indulgence, like you said. That's the flavor of life, if you want to put it that way. But also, you know, if we don't have our health, we don't have anything, because that is the key. And I know that the body innately wants to heal itself. So we, you know, whatever we need to do to help it to get there. But you're absolutely right. In this day and age, we need to be aware of how our bodies are speaking to us, and then take the steps to either optimize that or to find out where the root might be of some issues that you've got. But thank you so much for sharing that wonderful story. And I'm so glad that you've come through everything. And this has led to your next passion, which is teaching others now how to take care of themselves and their digestive issues, which is a huge problem today. But let's now go on to a little bit of the entrepreneurial strengths, because there was a lot of strengths that I saw came through when you were describing your story. So, as an entrepreneur in two businesses, what strengths do you feel are paramount to success?
You know, it's a big question with a lot of answers, but if I was to sum it up, um, I think perseverance would be one of the top um, descriptors in being successful as an entrepreneur. It takes a very dedicated individual to wear a variety of hats when you're starting a new business. Um, Both my businesses are fully funded by myself. So if I was to be profitable, and I was profitable from, you know, probably year two and made it my full time job in 2012, you really got to like figure out ways of doing a lot of things yourself. And that's what I did. And so through that, that's where I gained a lot of experience, knowledge, and commitment. So
Mm.
persevering through all the different nuances and challenges, you know, I got to be a bookkeeper, I got to be a marketer, I got to be a salesperson, I got to be a designer. All of these things together kind of are in a big bucket of things that I do. So persevering through all those nuances of different um, job titles is could may not be for the faint of heart, but if you have the will and the passion to get through it because you're doing something that you utterly love, you'll find a way. And I found a way.
Right.
Um,
Therein lies therein lies the secret, right? The passion.
yeah, absolutely. During the pandemic, I had a lot of time to step back, enjoy life in a different way as a mother, as a new mom at 40. Uh, so I was
Congratulations.
able, thank you. He's 3 now. Um,
Oh.
so one of the one of the things that I was able to, when things started opening up, I was able to look at my businesses in a different light. Um, the passion the passion was definitely there again for the designs of the candy buffets. The commitment was for me, um, and the creativity just exploded. So coming back after the pandemic was actually really healthy for my business.
Yes, I could see that definitely. You know, there are a lot of individuals. It created space that we all needed, space to reflect, space to breathe, space to just maybe even go inward and find out what really you value in life. And a lot of people came out of the pandemic renewed. I mean, there's a lot that have not because they're, having to pivot in different areas of their lives. But it was a time that most people were able to actually get a little bit of a break from the routine. And that's a good thing because we don't do it for ourselves. Life gets busy and we get on the hamster wheel. But I could definitely see that, giving yourself the space to reflect and to see. And like you said, you came back even stronger and better and more passionate. But it definitely takes perseverance, to be an entrepreneur. That being said, what are three most important habits to be a successful entrepreneur? Now, this is something you would do, mainly on a daily basis or weekly basis, something that you would, take on that you have a habit of doing to stay and be successful.
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the main things that has kept me successful and in demand in a highly um, in an environment such as Silicon Valley, where there's just the smartest and most talented people in the world that I'm competing up against in the event industry, but also just people that you work with and communicate in all these during all these corporate events, is being punctual and dependable and responding to people's emails as quickly as possible. So
Mm.
what that means is, to me, in any field, I can take that to a take those virtues, those skills to any sort of job. Is it's just being highly available, highly responsive, someone that's always on time, someone that you can depend on. Um, really keeps my clients happy and has kept my business alive.
Mm. I love those habits. Yes, absolutely. It's the level of professionalism that people admire, but also they seek it out because they are professionals in their own right and they have time limits. And when you are somebody who's dependable, and they know that when you're given something, it's going to be done, rather than, well, I never hear back. That is a fabulous habit to get into, especially when you want a successful business, because it's something that, unfortunately, in our day to day, a lot of individuals, they don't get back to you, and so you stand out by getting back to people, right? You
Yeah,
really do. Yeah, you do. They
Yeah, and
avoid it, and I find. Go ahead.
it's also developing a team that I work with around me, staff that also
Mm,
has those same ideals and skills. Um,
yes.
because not everybody has the same work ethic. So being able to put together the right team of staff, assistants that all operate within that same way of communicating with clients and at events is really important, and that helps me be successful as well. It's a reflection on my businesses.
Yes, absolutely. A team effort, and the leadership comes from the top. So you must be doing something right because it's trickling down and you're very, very successful. So thank you for sharing that. Getting on to the branding of a business, does that really matter? And how did you approach it for your businesses?
Yeah, that's a good question, and it's I think as an as an entrepreneur, brand voice is something that is developed over time and can change over time as well. It was something that may not have been as widely important in 2012, but in 2024, it is very important because the way that we communicate with our audience is through ways of social media. We all have to have some sort of web presence and social media presence. So creating that brand image, that brand voice is a reflection of who potential leads will be, a reflection of what their expectations are when before working with me.
Right.
So having that style, that swag, that vibe before a client even calls or requests a quote leaves an impression on what to expect from beginning to end. So brand voices, I believe, is really helpful developing it on the onset of starting your business.
Yes, thank you for sharing that. I agree 100%. And social media is our new marketing platform. And I often tell people it does matter how you show up online, and well, especially if you're running a business, no matter if it's a coaching business or one like your SF Candy, which is extremely visual, which is fabulous because that works so well on social media. But yes, and you're building rapport with those people who don't know you yet. Um, but if there's some synergy and they feel it, they're likely to, reach out. Or when you maybe send something to them, they'll go, "Oh yeah, I remember you." But absolutely, thank you. That I do believe, and I agree with you that social media is our platforms today to do that, and that we really need to be cognizant of what we're sharing and how we're sharing it. Well, switching gears here, can you tell us how do you describe holistic health coaching?
Yeah, absolutely. So I take an integrative approach to health coaching, and really holistic health coaching is a way of making my clients understand that it's not a one size fits all healthcare system. Now, after going through my gallbladder surgery, I really do have a great respect for what our healthcare system can do for us in urgent situations, acute situations. But sometimes there are situations like my previous mystery illness that the healthcare system have a solution for. So, as a health coach, I create balance for my clients and I help them figure out ways and determine ways on what's going on with their body and how can we balance it. I use a great tool. It's called the Circle of Life tool, where we just figure out like all the different um, aspects of their life to create balance in that. And that's like one of the like major beginnings to healing is creating balance.
Right. Oh, absolutely. In fact, balance is everything. Often I go to my naturopathic, and it's funny because he says, well, something's out of balance. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, right. But you wouldn't find a traditional doctor say that, because they would say, well, okay, no, that they go for the traditional, got to get the tests and da 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 da. But still, your body needs to be in balance or alignment, however you want to put it. But absolutely. So yes, thank you for that information. And I'm very curious now, because you did mention it at the beginning, foot zonology and face zonology. What are those?
Yeah. Um, Definitely something I randomly stumbled upon because I was curious and open to trying new things. And so, um, add a little story to your question, Jane. A friend was just telling me about it and told me to make an appointment with my teacher, my healer, and I did. And when I went to see her, she was able to tell me things that were going on my body that I've known ever since I was a child. Things that were going on my body that only I knew that my blood tests revealed. So I was blown away from my first session and really believed in what it could do for our bodies. So, foot zonology is similar to reflexology, where it's kind of like a massage, but foot zonology looks at your system as a whole. So, when we are born, we all have a perfect blueprint. And that blueprint tells your eyes to blink, it tells your heart to beat, it tells your hair to grow. But as we walk through life, our blueprint slightly gets off balance. And so, what a foot zoning session does is it reconnects the systems, the signal systems in the feet to our original blueprint. So, if you were to look at a chart of the feet, there's areas all throughout the feet, all the different zones and systems in the feet that connect to all the organs in our body. So it's like pressing reset
Mm. Wow,
when you get a foot.
that's fun.
Yeah,
That's really interesting.
yeah,
And I
incredibly
guess
interesting.
the face zonology does the same then, except with the face.
Yeah, so the face has different signal systems as well. And
Okay.
and the face is connected to our mental body. So
Mm.
some things in life can hold us back because of a fixed belief in our mind. And so when you give a face zone, and sometimes it takes more than just one, it's a series of face zones that help you get past some of those mental blockages that we have to get us to where we need to go. It's also
Right.
one of the most relaxing, amazing things that I've ever experienced because it's like a massage on your face. And if you love getting facials and you love the massage part of facials, a face zone is for you.
That sounds wonderful. I'll be right over.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds really, really fascinating and wonderful all at the same time. So, with that being said, give us some insight into your upcoming signature program called the Digestive System Mastery.
Yes. So During the whole journey, the 3-year journey that I've been on to figure out what's going on with my digestive system, I searched high and low and studied everything that I can get my hands on to understand um, how the digestive system works. What are the organs in the digestive systems that are causing the issues in my body, and how I can help others from a diet perspective, a balance perspective, whether it be something from stretching to sleeping, um, all the different ways of helping your digestive system thrive and heal. So that's called the Digestive System Mastery. It's 12 different modules with tests and handouts. It's a powerful, powerful way of figuring out how you can gain the powerful tools to help your body and your digestive system heal. Um, and it's specifically made for busy working moms who have issues with vomiting, nausea, and reflux, and it helps them like have empower them to get their life back.
Right. Yes, absolutely. I would be one of the first if I had those issues. It's terrible to know that some people live with that. Seriously. But yes,
Yeah.
it's like you said, it's an entire map. It's not just the one, like that's what the holistic approach to me sounds like it's about. It's looking at the whole, not just the issue that you come in with. For example, reflux. If you have that, the Western medicine basically just gives you a medication that
Hmm.
addresses that, but it's not healing the problem. It's just masking the symptoms. And so you go on with the same issue as opposed to, actually looking into the cause of it and moving forward to heal it. So
Yeah.
yes, it's such vital information, and I could see where that would be a wonderful program for anybody who's looking for a complete, almost a health review, pretty much. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, and like
And
go ahead.
sorry. The thing that I would really like to point out is that when we go to our doctors, whether it be a Western doctor or a naturopathic doctor, um, they only have a certain amount of time for us to tell them what's going on, what are our ailments. Okay, here are the tests that I'd like you to take. Come back and we'll review what your tests say. They don't have the time to go into hours and hours of in-depth information on how you need to think about your body when it's inflamed, or how you need to think about your body when you're experiencing a mystery illness. And that's what my program discusses and helps guide you through, so that you have the tools and to be empowered to make new healthy habits.
Mm, yes, I love that. Creating new healthy habits for your life, because it is a lifestyle. It's not a diet. It's not a one and done. It's a lifestyle. It's like you said,
Yeah.
resetting our blueprint requires, some adjustment. And but it actually it pays off big time. My husband and I often look at older people and they look so sad and decrepit, and it's like, how did you get that way? And it's really there could be other underlying issues, but a lot of it is because they ignored their health until it was too late, and
Yeah.
that's really a shame. So we want to, get what we need when we're still healthy, or when we maybe feel that little bit of push that our intuition is telling us, go out and start to live a healthier lifestyle. And once you do, you feel fabulous, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I should have done this years ago. because that's how big of a difference it makes. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
it's not a race, it's a marathon. You know, it's a
Mm.
lifelong journey to stay healthy, and it's everyday habits that lay the foundation for our health in the future. And not everyone in our standard American ways of dieting even understand that. So that's kind of where I want to be, to facilitate like busy working moms to not lose sight of that. Like it's so important to fill our own cups and have balance in our own lives when we're busy, like being a wife or a CEO or a, you know, career professional. We forget about the importance of that, of our own health.
Yes, absolutely. Fill your own cup first, because
Yeah.
that's the importance. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. Well, here we are, and I have a question for you. If there was one critical message that you could share with the world, what would it be?
That is a really big question, but it would definitely be, you know, a great segue into the last thing that I said is have balance. Balance is key to long life, longevity, and happiness. Um, to give you a really short, brief example, like I was not balanced when I got my first mystery illness. I worked myself as an entrepreneur into the ground, just taking every opportunity that presented itself to me, whether it be good for me or not. And so being able to say no, you know, almost a decade into my businesses is a really fantastic strength, um, because I understand balance. And so
Mm.
create time to have physical exercise, create time for spirituality, social life, and family. Don't lose sight of that just because you have a business that's thriving.
Mm. Yes, thank you. That is really, really great takeaway. Absolutely. And because we're here on the Epic Vision Zone, Yvette, I have one last question for you. If your life were an epic story, what would the title be?
The impact that Yvette made on other people's life to make a difference.
Mm, yes, I could see that. Definitely. Well, thank you again, Yvette, for joining us here today. And for information and to connect with Yvette, go to the Epic Vision Zone bio pages where you will find all of her social media and direct contact information. And be sure to follow me on Instagram at Jane Applegath. And don't forget to connect with me at janeapplegath.com, where you can access your free downloads, Creative Power and Vision Play Sheet. Sending you much love and greatness. This is the Epic Vision Zone, transforming your dreams into epic success.